Hey guys, how's it going? In this video I want to talk about the clay lawn that we drilled holes into using an auger bit, just to give an update on where it's at, how it's performing, and you can have a little look. So the front lawn is generally not so bad because it gets a lot more sun most of the year, so it doesn't perform too bad at all, and it just acts like a normal lawn. Even though it's clay, it's not doing too bad. Now it was the rear one that we did the manual hand aerating, so let me show you. So we used an auger bit and an orange bucket to pick up all the cores, and then we brushed in compost and topsoil. So you remember from the video, drilling all the holes into the ground, and again on this section. Now, over the last year they have got a dog. It's a gorgeous little dog, but it tears around the garden and it pees everywhere. And basically you've got the nice dark green grass growing. As you can see, it grows taller and darker. That's the urea in the wee, which feeds the lawn. But in the centre we get a burnt section because it burns, it's too concentrated. Now if you could bottle up the surrounding stuff, you'd be onto a right winner. Cheap fertiliser. So it is performing like a normal lawn for most of the year. Now this was the worst part, although it is in shade most of the time. So we are going to expect some thinning out on the lawn. But even though it's thinned out, it has retained quite a lot of grass. Now we've not actually done anything on this lawn now for at least a year. I think it was a year and a half, possibly even 2 years ago when we did the work. I can't remember without looking at the videos, but as you can see, most of the grass has stayed. Even though it is thinner, it's reasonably acceptable for a shaded area. Sun needs at least 3 hours a day of direct sunlight. So it's basically what's happened is over winter, which is when it gets wet and boggy, this will still get wet and boggy, but it won't be quite as wet and quite as boggy. Which means that some of the grasses won't die off. Which means then that those grasses come back and improve. So, aeration. Now I used an auger bit. I'll link to the video where I did the work. I used an auger bit to drill down as deep as I could. Sadly, I could only get down about 6 to 8 inches here because there's a lot of hardcore under the ground, which limited things. But if your lawn will permit and you've got a clay lawn, you can certainly drill a lot deeper and take a lot more out to improve drainage, so the water isn't standing there. Now I'm saying this because grass needs air, rain and nutrients. If you get too much of one of those, it causes an imbalance, causes a problem. Too much fertiliser, you'll burn your lawn. Too much water, if it's standing there in a puddle, the grass is going to die off. So by improving drainage, we give the grass a chance. You can't help the shade, you can't help the weather, you can't help the conditions, but we give the grass a better chance. There'll still be some overseeding to do, but before we did that work, this literally died off to nothing. Absolutely to nothing. So overall, it's a win, it's an improvement. Now if this was to be repeated a couple more times, I think we'll get even more benefits. If we get some gypsum in there as well, it'll start to break up the clay and just basically help out. So we're taking an auger bit off of Amazon, about 15 quid, something like that, £15, $12, and drilling a hole as deep as you can go. Always be wary and mindful that there could be services under there, utilities, pipes, electrical cables. I'm not responsible for that. If you happen to hit one, you need to just go carefully and go down steady. If you feel there might be something there, you can obviously look out for drainage, manhole covers and things like that, and electrical covers. But other than the dog burns, it's retained quite a bit of colour. So overall, it's a win, it's an improvement. Everything you do to your lawn improves it. And that's what it's all about. Even if you can only do something once every couple of years, it's an improvement, and you will slowly get there. You want a better quality soil, so humic acid. Apply humic acid regular to your lawn. Compost, aeration, gypsum, all of those. Yeah? You can aerate a couple of times a year and sprinkle a bit of gypsum on. Some will go down the holes, and that gypsum will then slowly start to break up the clay that allows water to drain through a bit. The aeration holes will relieve compaction and improve drainage. The compost gets some organic in there, which attracts microbial activity, and that microbial activity starts to change the soil over time. Okay, so you can certainly top dress your lawn once a month. Put a thin layer of compost, brush it in so it's not smothering the grass. So there you go, that's all the tips for today in this video. I wanted to give you this update because I haven't done a proper full-on update like this for several months, and people have been asking what it's looking like. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up, please consider subscribing. Any questions, comments, leave them down below, comment section. I'm here to help you with your lawn. These are the things that work. Now, if you can't get an auger bit, then you can just do some aeration. You can do some forking at the worst. But the best thing is an auger bit. It's going to take you a full day to do a small section like this. Drill holes every sort of 3 to 6 inches across the lawn. At the worst, you can just use a drill bit or a very thin auger bit. Drill the holes, pull the clay out, pop some compost, topsoil, tiny bit of gypsum down the holes, and spray with a bit of humic acid. Alright, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. Other than that, we have where the dogs weed. So it's hard when you've got a dog and you've only got a small lawn. Now ideally you'd put a fence across so they can't use the lawn, but you know, they're part of the family, aren't they? So you've got to come out and keep watering whenever you've seen them do a wee, but that is much easier said than done. You could try and train them to go in one spot, and there are videos on YouTube which will show you how to train your dog to wee in one spot. It involves going out first thing in the morning on the lead, take them to a part of the lawn, because this is the strongest wee of the day, the urine that's been in the body overnight. Take them to a part of the lawn, sit with them until they do a wee, then give them a treat. And keep repeating, and after a week or two, the dog will then go to that spot on a regular basis. But not straight away. And the first time, they may be sat there for ages. It could be an hour or two, who knows, but you've just got to sit there until they've done a wee. And eventually that time will get faster. So, yeah, to fix these, obviously you want to give it a good rake. If it's soaked with dog wee, you maybe want to take out the top inch or two, fresh topsoil in, and then seed it and top dress. So thanks once again. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.